I wanted to speak about attention, but I keep putting it off and getting distracted. Funny how that works. There's an old story about two young fish just hanging out, and an older fish swims by. And he says, "Great water today, huh, lads?" And they look at each other and they go, "What's water?" So these fish are so immersed in their environment that they take it for granted. It surrounds them. And this is kind of the metaphor for attention. We are so submerged in our attention. We're using it all the time, thousands of times a day, that we don't really think about attention, or at least I don't. That's why I'm fascinated by it, and possibly why I got into mindfulness in the first place. But here's the metaphor. The water is your attention. We're so surrounded by it that we don't know that it's running our world. And we can choose to change our world with our attention being used with intention. That we're continually creating our world with our attention, and we don't know it. We're doing it mostly by default. So how do we do this with intention? Using our attention with intention. That's what I want to talk about today. The dictionary definition that I found for attention is the action of dealing with or taking special care of someone or something. Special care. That's really interesting. So attention means to attend to something. You care about it, you consider it, and you love it. So there's no love without attention, and there's no attention without love. What we put our attention on grows from our attention, no matter what it is. I'm sure you've had a worry or anxiety in your life. We're putting our attention on that worry and anxiety. We're making it grow. In effect, we're feeding it. Whereas if we put our attention on something positive, we're feeding that as well. Attention, it's an energy, it's a life force. It doesn't discriminate, it just goes, and we need to be able to choose where we want to put it. That's a very important point for humanity, for mindfulness, to be able to use our attention with intention. That's part of the key, and to know where our attention is in any given moment. Like right now, I'm putting attention on my words, making sure they don't sound too weird or too unclear or too slapdash. But I'm also trying to put my attention on my body right now. So I've got this wonderful latte in my hand, and I'm feeling the sensation of the heat coming through the cup right now as I'm talking to you. And this is key. This is very, very key, because the meditations I want to teach partly work with divided attention. So we're always saying, "Oh, you have my undivided attention." That's a saying in English. Wrong. Wrong. It's not that. It's actually divided attention. Now, if you're sitting here and you want to understand a little bit more what I'm saying, pay better attention. Attention is a God power. It's a love power. It's world creating power. And it's also a muscle. It's a lot of different things, but it's a muscle that we can use for our lives to become more authentic, to become kinder, to become more appreciative, more empathetic. And that comes with knowing where our attention is going. Putting it on ourselves, ironically, is not self-centered. Putting our attention in our body is presence. This creates presence. This gives us a sensation. It gives us a power of being. And as we sit here and put our attention on our bodies, our beings grow. But think of all the other things our attention goes to. I mean, a lot of them are pretty real things. I mean, maybe some of you have money troubles or relationship troubles or job troubles. I know I've had all of those in my life, and your attention can get pulled to these things, to these world situations, let alone stuff going on the other side of the world that, greatly concerns us and troubles us. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing to have empathy for people on the other side of the world. But the more we do that, the less being we have. The more we do that, the less attention we have on ourselves and in our present moment. And that's a very important choice that we're continually getting made for us. This choice gets made all the time by pulling one of these up. And yeah, I'm sorry to say, but I do believe it is that damn phone is a problem. The screens are a problem, knowing full well you're watching this on a screen. So we got to ask better questions of ourselves and our attention and realize we can decide where our attention goes and that there are great things to put our attention on. Attention makes our world. We are continually creating our world by our attention. Think of when you were a little younger and you had all these things you wanted to be when you grew up. And some of those fell by the wayside pretty quickly. Some of those maybe you're actually doing right now. I'm fortunate to have done that, but I also very strongly put my intention to move my attention towards writing, towards being a better writer, towards being on a meditation path. My attention was diverted from other things. So necessarily, we have to say no to some things and then move to other things. That's just how it works. You can't put attention on everything all at once. Like, you would explode. It would it would be gross. But where are we putting our attention right now? Do you remember your body? I'm not challenging you. I'm asking, can you remember your butt and your seat as you're listening to this? We forget, and then we bring our attention back. Forgetting is part of the deal. It's a video for another time, but it's very important. With our attention comes the distraction. So it's a binary that's happening. So with our attention comes our forgetfulness, comes our distraction. And it's a pretty important question right now for most of us, especially in, the year of our Lord 2025, when there's all of these apps and all of these notifications and all these things pulling our attention, that we do have a choice, but we have to be kind to ourselves. We got to slowly take a look at it and say, okay, what do I want? I want a little more attention on my life, on the people around me, on my neighborhood, on my creativity in this moment. And that's a wonderful, completely possible thing, but we got to work at it. And unfortunately or unfortunately, depending how you're feeling about it, it comes through meditation. Meditation is one of the only ways to grow these muscles. And meditation comes in a whole lot of different forms, but I wanted to teach you one here today that is pretty simple and will help you at least observe where your attention's going. And that's really important data. It's important data to bring in and take a look at this. We're not judging ourselves. It's very important to not judge yourself. This is a curious compassion, right? Or compassionate curiosity. So we're watching what's going on. We're going, is this where I want to put my attention? And every moment we can make that choice again. Is this where I want to put my attention, on this warm, fantastic latte and speaking to these warm, fantastic people? Yes, I can do both. A notification just came on my computer right now, and my attention's pulled away to it. It's fantastic. That's exactly what I want to talk about. So I'm going to introduce a little bit of a meditation to you that works with our attention. So what I suggest is you're going to have a comfortable seat somewhere, not in bed. In bed's for other things, rascal. And we're going to sit down. We're going to set a timer on our phones. So we know there's a container. It's not going to go on forever. We know that 15 minutes is good enough. And you're just going to sit. Make sure your phone is out of your reach, right? Put it on the other side of the room. You're going to sit and you're just going to breathe, and you're going to settle into your body with your attention in your body, right? You settle with your attention in your body and you watch what happens. Inevitably, Your attention's going to get pulled to something. It might get pulled to your phone. Maybe a notification comes up. That's all good. This is important work. Very good data. Maybe you're thinking about some meeting that's going to happen in a couple days. We're just watching that our attention's getting pulled to something we can't control in that moment, and then you just come back. One of the ways that I do this is I come back to my breathing or my body, right? But another way you can do this is you can just say in your mind, just kindly, oh, thank you. Thanks for coming to my attention, right? And usually that dissipates the energy and you can come back to your body, your breath, and maybe it'll come back. That's fine. We're not judging ourselves. We're just sitting with it. We're watching. We're watching with compassionate curiosity, because this is part of how we work the muscles, by seeing how it works and how we'd like it to flow a little bit better. So that's just an encouragement, just a little fun little experiment that is going to build upon a lot of other things that we're going to work on. Or at least I'm just going to talk to the camera and maybe someone will work on it. All good. One last point. Fantastic word, interoception. This is part of the muscle we're working. We're working on our interoception, because interoception is the perception of your inner landscape, of your inner environment, of things going on inside of you. And it works for knowing when you're hungry, knowing when you need to go to the bathroom, feeling like, oh, I might be straining my ankle a little bit when I slipped and something's up. But it's also there for thoughts and emotions. And this is primarily what I want to work with moving forward. Interoception is one of the most powerful things you can build with meditation, because it helps you choose how you wish to be in any moment. It stops you from being victimized by the 10,000 screens telling you you have to be this way, you have to worry about this. We build this muscle so that we can choose where we want to put our attention, what we want to give our love to, and therefore what we want to grow in our lives. Well, with that, I thank you for putting your attention on me. I'm going to finish this coffee and sit